Hello, welcome back to the channel. I've just watched Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1 in the Carabao Cup final. Liverpool lift their first trophy of the season. Potentially not their last, with the Premier League and the FA Cup in their rise, and even the Europa League. But it started with the Carabao Cup, and that is the bottom line. And I'm going to talk about that game. First half, I thought Liverpool were the better team. They dominated. I thought most of it. I thought 35 minutes in total of that first half were Liverpool's, and about 10 minutes were Chelsea's. Chelsea had a good 10 minutes that they were much more controlling game, but Liverpool dominated every other way. There were a couple of moments where they should have had a goal. But it just didn't quite work out for them. And Chelsea in that first half, they had huge opportunities. I remember Cole Palmer, 6-yard box volley, and Kelleher was right place, right time. Really, it's a great save. I remember Gakpo hit the post for Liverpool at one point in that first half, and they had a few shots here and there as well. But the bottom line is, neither of them could score in that first half. But yeah, I thought Liverpool were in control. Very unfortunate when Gravenberch got sent off. He was sent off, but he's sent off injured. Liverpool fans and, I suspect the whole club will be hoping that Gravenberch is okay. Injuries are bad enough as it is already, considering that they had to finish this game with multiple academy players on the pitch. I think they ended the game with 5 academy players on the pitch, which is just incredible. But very unfortunate with Gravenberch. The fact that he left off on a stretcher isn't promising for Liverpool. But, this is what you have to cope with in football. Liverpool, champions will find a way. And if Liverpool are champions, if they are to be the champions of the Premier League, then they will have to find a way. Moving on though. Second half, I thought this was mainly Chelsea. Of course, Liverpool had a moment or two. I think there was a Gakpo header that was brilliantly saved. By the way, the offside goal first half, Sterling scored. Sorry, I forgot to cover that. Very unlucky for Sterling. Do think it's the right decision. It was close, but I can't argue with the lines. You could argue it's harsh, but so is football. Football's a cruel sport, and Chelsea realised that today. But anyway, second half, I thought Chelsea were the better team this time around, and they had so many opportunities. Gallagher hit the post. Gallagher was in 1-on-1. I remember Jackson ran through on goal, but then passed it back to Gallagher, who narrowly missed. And just chances at the end too. I remember Kelleher made a save. I think Gusto maybe followed it up, and Gomez had to clear it. So wild that half in terms of chances. Chelsea could have had 2 in that half rather than just the 1. They probably could have had 3, if I'm being brutally honest. But then they weren't even the team that went on to score. It ended up being Virgil Van Dijk. An offside decision took place that if Liverpool did not win this final, then I think that decision would get talked about, because no doubt that it's probably a bit controversial. Was Endo really interfering with play? Could Colwell have beaten him? It didn't really seem like Colwell or Endo were really fighting the situation. They just kind of let it happen. Van Dijk. So Van Dijk had an easier job, but unfortunately for Liverpool, and I said at the time, Chelsea were very lucky to get let off with that. And the goal got disallowed. Of course, they came close in multiple ways, both the teams. Extra time though. Extra time is where it gets different. I thought Chelsea was so... I was so confident that they were going to go and win the game, on penalties or not. And why was I thinking that? Because almost half of Liverpool's team were academy players. I know Kelleher's their second choice goalkeeper, Liverpool, but again, it's their second choice goalkeeper. In all fairness to Petrovic has been Chelsea's number one for a bit of time now because Sanchez got injured. But Kelleher is second choice. I know we would have started this game whether Alisson was fit or not, but that's what I'm trying to get across. This wasn't their best, and this was your best. No Salah, no Nunez, no Jota, no Jones, no even Thiago. I know he's never available, but they were missing so much. They had to take off Gravenberch in the first half, and they had to put a defender on. That's how light they were in terms of depth. They had nothing, Liverpool. I don't think they wanted to go into this game having to play academy players. I think they would have loved Trent to play this match, and probably would have definitely taken Salah at least on the bench, and Nunez too. Multiple injuries for Liverpool. Szoboszlai and Trent injured too. They had none of that, and they still managed to beat you. And not just that, in extra time, Liverpool, with 5 academy players on the pitch, managed to dominate you. Your performance was you were much better in that second half, as you should be, because you've worn them out, haven't you? You were much better in that first half in that second half than Liverpool were. And you went out looking for penalties in extra time. You can't convince me that Chelsea weren't hoping for a penalty shootout. You can't, because it's just the way they played. I don't remember one brilliant chance Chelsea had in extra time. I can't. I can remember a couple though for Liverpool. You've obviously got the goal. You've got the header on the back post that Harvey Elliott hit, and it was basically a goal line clearance by the goalkeeper. And Liverpool just kept hoofing the ball forward, and if you allow that pressure to come onto you, then the goal will come eventually. If you keep allowing that pressure, it rarely doesn't. You have to be very good at what you do to not allow it to happen. But I couldn't believe it, honestly. The approach I saw from Chelsea was it tactical? Was the plan from Pochettino? Did Pochettino huddle his players around and say, "Alright lads, you've done good to get us to extra time. Hold out till pens. Half of their team is academy players now. They won't have the guts to win on penalties, so we're going to hold out for that." Well, they didn't need to have the guts to win on pens, because they had the guts to take on your team 11-11 and win the game, because you let them come at you. It was terrible. It says it there, Chelsea cowardly in extra time. If Chelsea kept up the approach of the second half, and probably the first half too, because the approach of the first half was to probably dominate the game, but they obviously couldn't, because Liverpool were just better and they had a bit more gas in them. But if they just followed the approach of that first half and of that second half, I believe they would have won. They had options on the bench too, and Kunku was not fresh on the pitch in extra time, but he'd been on a lot shorter time than the rest of the players, especially some of those Liverpool players. They had to take off McAllister. I think they had to take off Gakpo or someone. They had to take off first teamers for academy players. I couldn't believe it. But bottom line is, Liverpool, they won that. They did it at the right moment, at the right time. Defending on Van Dijk was shocking on the corner. What Disasi is doing, not a clue, but oh well, I suppose. On a higher note, I suppose, in terms of me, I'm back live tomorrow with Luton preview, so feel free to watch that. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Maybe you thought Liverpool deserved it through and through. They were better in the first half, better in the second half, and obviously better in extra time. Maybe that's your opinion. Or maybe you're the opposite. thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate the support. Big up to each and every one of you, and see you next time.